And one thing here, it's from a resident, Ron Stott of 8320 English Club. He would like to get permission from the town board to build an 8x14 shed in the rear of his yard, which is in an existing drainage easement. Which makes this a little unusual, is that the drainage easement is like 60 foot at one point, 122 at another point, and about probably 2 foot at another. It's a big triangle. It's way in the very, very rear of his property. There's some trees back there, the way it sounds. This is something that the town board has to give him the right to do, I believe, Heather? Because by town...
Technically, your code does not approve.
Yes,
does
Jay
not
can't say yes or no, so... I've talked to Mr. Stott about it. I don't have a problem with this, as long as we can get one of those arrangements like we've given to other residents about if we have to ever go in there, you have to move it or we will. One of those. So...
Chet, I think we have another resident who wants to, who has something that she would like to say.
I'm Theresa Harris, and I bought the property that's adjacent to that shed 5 years ago. And it was a premium lot, a wooded lot, for which I paid $15,000 extra for. And it seems over the past 5 years, every time I look, there's another tree that's missing. And now, when I look at the corner of my lot, in the easement becomes the foundation for every man's dream shed. It's a beautiful shed, but it touches onto the property line. And when I look there, I'm going to see a monstrosity, and I do object to the town approving the shed placement in the easement because it is about 2 inches from the property line. And to make matters worse, when that area was planned for, the easement was about 30 feet. The drainage swale was intended to be in the center of the easement. However, because of trees and how they positioned it, after I purchased it, the drainage swale came close to 5 feet from the edge. It was way off center into my yard. So now, my yard is shortened in some points almost 20 feet, on an average of 15. And in addition, every day I have the pleasure of seeing the water from Mr. Stott's basement pour into my yard because of the location of the swale. So I'd like to someday have that be shortened. Mine is shortened and it doesn't go into there. But I do want to voice my opinion that as much as I like Mr. Stott, and as lovely as his yard is, I do object to having that. I think it will diminish the resale value of my property. Looking out, my yard is very short now because of that drainage swale there. And boy, there is the shed. So I would ask you to take that
Because if you
consideration.
look at the plot where he plotted this, he's got it almost not on the edge. You're saying it's on the line. That's where he plotted it. You're saying it's over here
It
someplace?
continues. Where that's his drainage easement, it continues.
So the building
The
is...
property line is, if I may, right there.
Sure.
That's the property line. And the easement is 15 feet either way.
So this is the property line between Mr. Stott and you?
Yes, my property is here.
Where is your property?
Is that wrong? The northern edge of my property line comes right to where the shed corner is.
Over here.
We just had it
So you back
surveyed
up
and
your-
it's staked out.
Your property backs up to his?
Yes.
And back?
Yes.
You're not next door, you're back
No, we're actually back to back.
to back? Okay, so you have a large easement too in your property because there's a swale?
The greater share of the easement is behind my neighbor to the right of me. There is a small portion between our 2 lots. And the property line, Jay could confirm, the property line is an inch or 2 away from the corner of his shed. And then we're supposed to allot for easement. on either side.
We'll table this until, we're gonna have to do some research.
Thank
on
you.
this.
Someone could come out and see it's all staked out right now.
Something isn't right here,
Mhm.
but we'll look into it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Follow up on public comment, please.
Public comment on what?
On her comment.
Normally, we don't do that.
When we reopened, I'm asking permission.
What would you like to talk about then? Specifically?
If I may. We're looking at town code because we went through this about 2 meetings ago, where you passed a resolution to allow an intrusion into the drainage or 150-year floodplain, I believe. I think if you look at the town code, it's specifically section 112-19 that covers the appeals board. The zoning board of appeals, as established by the town of Cicero, shall hear and decide appeals or requests for variances from specific requirements in this chapter. Doesn't say anything in here about the town board giving resolutions to allow people to violate the town code. So maybe we have to look at that and make sure that our attorneys are giving us the right advice instead of writing us resolutions.
Heather, would you research that for us, please?
There's a
Thank you.
difference between a waiver and a variance. That's the issue.
The town board, probably within the last, year, passed a resolution saying that these type of sheds, or if there's any encroachments upon the easement, would be looked at on a case-by-case basis. We can get the resolution, I don't know, it was about a year ago, I probably think, a year and a half. But there was something to that effect. We'll take a look at it.